Hi, I'm Deborah from Swanee River Regional Library, and today I'm going to bring you some crocheting. I did one kind of stitch last time I did it, and this time I'm going to teach you a whole different one. We miss seeing you face to face where we can chat and have fun while we do it, but those days will come back. Last time I made a film, we learned to crochet, and you want to put it, and I'm going to show you what we learned last time, and then I'm going to teach you a different stitch so that you can see the difference in it. But you just put your yarn over like that, and I grab this one and do it around, and then grab the long one and pull it on through there and tighten it up. And I'm going to do 11 stitches because when you crochet, you're going to leave one at the end so that your crocheting does not make a triangle in the end. So here's 1, 2, and I put my yarn over, 3, 4, 5. I'm trying to go slow because I've done this for a very long time. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I do most of the movement in my left hand. Anyway, so I know it won't be this comfortable for you. I've done it for like 50 years, but that's why it's nice to do it in the secret of your home. I'm going to skip this very first one and go into the second one, and I'm going to just put my, well, I'm going to go slower for you. I'm going to put my yarn around my needle, front to back, and I'm going to pull it through, and then I put my yarn around again, and pull it through the 2 of them, and I will end up with 10 stitches in the end. Here's my next one. Put it in there, put your yarn around your needle, and you notice when I'm doing it, I turn my needle so the hook part's at the bottom. It helps it go through easier, and it won't get caught on your yarn. So when I get done with these 10, and it's the same way all the way across, yarn over, pull it through, you'll have 2 stitches on your hook, yarn over, pull it through, and you end up with 1. And at all times you should only have 1 on your needle when you get done and go to the next one. So I want to show you what I do at the end, because you have to make sure that you get that very last stitch. And every couple rows, I always count my stitches to make sure that I have 10. When I come to the end, I'm going to put my yarn over, I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to turn it around, and now you can really see right where you have to put your needle for the next stitch. So in I go, pull your yarn over, you have 2, pull your yarn through, then you have 1. I'm going to go across to the end, and then I'm going to show you the new stitch I'm going to teach today. There's where I put my needle the next time. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I do believe I made an extra stitch, so I actually have 11 because I want to go all the way to the end. If you don't go all the way to the end and then chain 1 before you go to the next one, your crocheting will end up in a triangle, and it'll make a great shawl or a baby blanket. But if you want it to go straight up the sides, you have to make sure you do that stitch at the end and then go in the very first hole right there when you turn it around. Now if you feel uncomfortable about it, the practice will make it easier as you go. The stitch I'm going to teach you today is a little different. It's a little easier. It's a little easier because you can see right where your stitches are automatically. This is called the afghan stitch. And what you can do with this is after you're all done, you can actually do cross stitch on it and make some fancy pictures of flowers or everything else you can do. The needle, you'll see the difference in needles. This is a crochet hook, and this is an afghan stitch. And the reason it's long, you'll see in a minute why you have to have such a large needle for that afghan stitch. So I'm going to start at the very same, if I can get the end of my yarn here. I'm going to start it the same way. I'm going to show you how you can start it instead of twisting your yarn like I did before. Just a regular knot. You can do a regular knot. Make sure that it is loose enough for the end of your needle to go through, or there will be a fight between you and your yarn, and it's not very fun when you try to force that needle through a loop that's not large enough. Okay, so I just tied a regular knot. That is my first chain. So then I'm going to start the very same. I'm going to put my yarn around, and I'm going to do 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I do not have to do an extra chain with afghan stitch, because that's one stitch right there. Then I'm going to go in my chain, just like I did with crocheting, and I'm going to pull it through. I'm going to leave it on my needle. I go into the next one. I'm going to do it around. I'm going to leave it on my needle. That's the difference. I'm not going to take each one off this time. And that's why this one is a little easier to keep control of how many stitches you have, because you leave them all on the needle all the way across. When you're going from the right to the left, you leave them all right there on your needle. When I come to the end, I am still going to chain one and leave it on my needle. Now I'm going to do my yarn over and take off 2 at a time. 2, and you go 2 all the way till you have only 1 left on your needle. And you can see it leaves a bar, and that's where your next row will go right into that bar. 2, and it pulls that braid right in and fills in that gap. Okay, so that's the end of my row. So this piece right here is your first stitch for your next row. Now, instead of looking for the next hole, I just go right around that bar, put my yarn around, pull it up, leave it on my needle. And that's the afghan stitch. And I have a lady right now making an afghan for her grandson that's orange and blue, and this was a much easier stitch for her to control and to keep all her stitches. And she's just doing long strips and then going to sew them together. The bar and the last bar is right here. And I'm going to put that on there. I'm going to chain 1, and then what do? I take off 2 by 2. There's 2. And it tends to curl up at the bottom down here, but that's all right. So this is the afghan stitch, and you just do the same thing until you get the length that you want. And here you can see the difference. The first row, it pulled that braid right in and filled it out. This is my next row, and you just go into each bar, and here's crocheting. So that's your difference. So now you know, because we did a little bit of crocheting, and then I moved you to the afghan stitch. And I want to thank you for watching. And next month we'll learn something new. If you have any ideas, just call me and we can do it for you. Thank you for coming.